So we are back with another versus battle. If you guys haven't seen, every week I do versus battle where I ask you guys to give me some options of fragrances to put against each other. 1v1, 1v1v1. It seems like a lot of people like the three fragrances going against each other. So we had a lot of requests this week. We had some on Instagram. We had some on my email, also through my live streams and my actual video from last week. And the one that came up first was actually, I had to substitute one fragrance, and I told them I was going to. They wanted me to do Bvlgari Man In Black versus Spicebomb Extreme versus Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. But because I had Spicebomb Extreme in my last week's video against Le Mans Elixir and Most Wanted, I decided to substitute that with this Mercedes-Benz Club Black. So today we're going to be talking about kind of the battle of the fall and winter sweet and spicy fragrances. Bvlgari Man In Black versus Tom Ford's Noir Extreme versus Mercedes-Benz Club Black. So without further ado, let's get it. What's going on, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka Fragrance Dude. Thank you guys so much for joining me again. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe so that we can get straight into week 4 of the versus battles. And so, again, my versus battles, I take 2 to 3 fragrances, I put them up against each other. At the end, I give you my biased rankings and then what I would think as an unbiased review, what I think would be 3, 2, 1. Last week, I seem to have been all over the place. I mean, Le Mans Elixir, a lot of you guys like. Sometimes fragrance community, you can get a lot of people coming in that like a specific fragrance, so I actually don't know. I still am going with my gut and saying that if we did 100 people, Most Wanted probably would have won that. 100 random people. With that said, today we're going to be doing the battle of the sweet and spicy. Some of the ones that have a heavy vanilla, ones that have a heavy tonka, some spices. These were the 3 that they picked. Again, I said, is this one okay? Because they did choose Spicebomb Extreme. It was going to be like the battle of the vanilla fragrances. But this one I did last week, so I took that out. I obviously could have also had this one in, but it's discontinued. I could have put this one in. I don't know. I had these out for other videos, but those are all vanilla fragrances. Maybe I'll put that in a different video, those 3. Maybe that'll be a good idea. But today, again, it's going to be Bvlgari Man In Black, Tom Ford's Noir Extreme versus the last one, Mercedes-Benz Club Black, which I absolutely love all 3 fragrances. So I'm going to let you know a little bit about them now. So the first one let's talk about, Bvlgari Man In Black. When I first tried this, I got it as a deal from Fragrance Buy for 50 bucks. It usually runs between $60 to $80. It smells very similar, but also slightly different than Spicebomb Extreme, which is why I like to substitute that. But anyway, Bvlgari Man In Black. I just sprayed it on my hand. It was 42 degrees outside today, so I decided that I was going to spray it on my hand. It got real cold outside. So Bvlgari Man In Black is, when you first spray it on, it is warm, spicy, leathery, a little bit boozy. It has some woods that flow in there very early. And then you have this undertone of this tonka bean, which comes off almost like a powdery vanilla. But it's spicy with an undertoning sweetness. It has like a black pepper vibe to me. I've always said that. I always get a lot of this peppery vibe from it. But it's, again, it's a mix of spices that I feel is maybe like a pepper and a cinnamon. And then you get a little bit of booze under there in the opening, a little bit of woods under there. And then you do get some leather that creeps in more in the mid, but you do smell it in the opening as well. It's a very masculine fall and winter fragrance that's going to be more for a nighttime, but you can wear it during the winter, definitely all day long. But for the fall, I say more nighttime. It's going to be more of a date night scent, something like that. Nothing you want to wear to work. But Bvlgari Man In Black, as you get into the mid, into the dry down, you get a little bit of a floral vibe, but for the most part, as those spices start to dissipate, that's where that tonka bean really shows its face and says, hey, I'm coming in now. I'm mixing with this woods and this rum. Those spices, you guys can go behind me, sit underneath, provide an undertoning base. And then that is exactly what you get with this fragrance. Is going to be a nice sweetened up tonka bean That mixes together with a deeper Gaiac wood, and then you mix that together with a slight bit of tobacco, some leather that really does flow in the mid for about the 15-minute mark until about 45 minutes, and then it starts to go underneath with the spices. But it starts out more spicy, ends up a little bit sweeter, but overall it is more of a spicy than sweet fragrance. You just have a little bit of this and that mixing its way in. Really nice fragrance. It's a little bit more less mass appealing than the other two on this list, at least that I found, but it still does get some attention grabbing, especially, but it has to be a cooler day, like 42 degrees, perfect time for this fragrance. That's Bvlgari Man In Black. It lasts on your skin for about 7 to 8 hours, sometimes a little bit more than that. It is above average for the first 2 hours, and then it comes down to more of a moderate scent for the next like 3 to 4, and then it sits closer to your skin as a skin scent. So that's Bvlgari Man In Black, really nice. It has like a nice 3-foot sillage behind you as well. It's a lot more spicy in the sillage, I've noticed, just an FYI. I don't know why it is like that, but it is. Second one is one that I wore as my first fall fragrance this year. I really, really enjoy this fragrance. I was sent it by Influencer last year. It is Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. I like this better than the Parfum, just an FYI if anybody had that question. The Parfum takes the opening of this fragrance and just extends it. So the opening of this fragrance, it's a tale of two fragrances. The opening, just like Bvlgari Man In Black, even though Man In Black keeps a lot of the spices, this one has a lot spicier of an opening. It has this like saffron and spices and nutmeg, all spicy in the opening. It's a lot more mature in the opening, but then as you get about 10 to 15 minutes into the fragrance, it turns into more of a sweet fragrance. Not like overly candies like sweet. It's just the vanilla comes in and it's just like, yes, I'm a vanilla fragrance. It also gets a little bit of woods as the spices go underneath. A little bit of a floral tone just like this, the Bvlgari Man In Black. But this one is a very high quality, kind of designer-esque fragrance because it is in their designer line, their signature line, not their private blends. Noir Extreme, you can find this for about $100 depending on what site you get it on. Only at specific times of the year though. It's normally around $140. But I saw it on JOMASHOP for $101 for the smaller bottle of this. But again, more spicy in the opening, some unique spices, some nutmeg. You also do get some cardamom in there as well. Very beautiful fragrance overall, but it is a vanilla-centric fragrance, unlike the Parfum, which again has a little bit of the vanilla, but that opening, the spices, the unique eclectic woods and spices that really just push their way out and they take over the entire fragrance, which is why I like this one more, because I enjoy the vanilla in this more than I enjoy the spices. The dry down for me is miles better than the opening, but I like both the opening and the dry down. And I do like Noir Extreme Parfum. It's just, I prefer the vanilla over the spices. That's just my opinion. I like when the spices blend down and become the undertone nuance of the vanilla and woods. So that is Noir Extreme. Fantastic for the fall and winter. Gonna be great. As far as the performance on that, it is very much on par with that of Bvlgari Man In Black, if not just maybe an hour less. On your clothes, it stays for like a day and a half. So spraying on clothes in any of these, you're gonna be fine. Especially in the next one. The next one's gonna be the heaviest projector, and it's gonna have a huge sillage. Even though I don't really, it smells more to people that are around you than the person who's actually wearing it. I know some people can still smell themselves, but with this, I just like getting myself like little wafts of it all the time. This is Mercedes-Benz Club Black. Now, if you're talking about vanilla, I'm gonna spray this on my other hand. This is gonna be more of your ambery, balsamic-y, vanillic style fragrance. It has this balsamic-y vibe to it. And I never say that about fragrances, but this one definitely has that almost thick and resinous vanillic, it's like a balsamic style vanilla. Anyway, so you mix that together with the amber, and that is the basis of this fragrance. Yes, there is some spices in there. Yes, there's a little bit of floral in there. Yes, there's a little bit of woods in there. This is an ambery vanilla fragrance at its core. I'm not going to confuse anybody more. If you like a sweeter, denser, heavier fragrance that legit just revolves around almost like a creamy and syrupy vanilla, that has an undertone of woods and spices. That is what this fragrance is, with an ambery accord encapsulating it. Ambering is just going to make it more warm, make it more prevalent, a little bit more resinous, and it's rich. It's just a really rich fragrance. This is one of my favorite fragrances. No joke. I love this stuff. It has like a incensey jasmine vibe in the opening, just like the other two. They have that floral vibe in the mid. This has a slight incensey jasmine. It's incense and jasmine, but it's like an incense floral note that undertones the mid. That dissipates pretty quickly and undertones it. Again, without confusing you, this is just a nice, rich, creamy vanilla with an ambery tone and a little bit of woods and spices, and it doesn't change that much. It's really great. It does push out heavy. This is going to be another 9 to 10 hour fragrance, but it's going to push out way, way, way above average for the first few hours. Then it'll start sitting closer to your skin. Again, for me personally, when I smell it on myself, I don't smell it too heavy, so sometimes I do overspray it, and some people will be like, wow, man, you smell strong. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, I can't tell. I just love smelling it. You do get wafts all day. And the sillage on this is huge. All three of these, do you want to go with the more playful style night out fragrance? Do you want to go with the playful but mature style, high quality Tom Ford? Or do you want to go with the real masculine, real spicy version that is going to be for your grown-up man? That is Bvlgari's Man in Black. Unbiased opinion, what do I think people would choose? I think that it would go 3, 2, 1. I could be wrong. I'm going with what I think that people will say because of the comments I've had on my channel. So many people have just said this was their favorite fragrance that I don't know any other way than to put this first. I know a lot of people talk about this, so this could easily be switched with Tom Ford's, but I know a lot of people like this as well, and I don't hear this talked about as much. While all three are great, this is going to be one of the hardest ones. I'm going to say 3, 2, and 1 for this one. As far as me personally, again, I would say that this one is probably my favorite smell of all of them. But as far as my most worn, that's the way I'm going to rank my biased opinion this week. It is going to be 3, 2, and 1 because I wear this all the time. Obviously, this was my first wear this year for the fall. So it's up there in my top 10. I love Noir Extreme because it has that tale of two fragrances. So you kind of get the best of this and the best of this. You get the spice and you get that vanilla mixed together. That's why I think Tom Ford's Noir Extreme for me is number 1. With Club Black is going to be my number 1 as far as playfulness. But let me know what you guys think. I love whenever you guys come in and rate them and either prove me wrong, prove me right. What is your favorite? Rank your 3 if you have to. Also, remember, if you have 2 fragrances you want me to compare, 3 fragrances you want me to compare, you write it, I'll do it. Whether it takes a week or a month, I'll do it. If I have the fragrances, that is. So I appreciate you guys listening to me. That was my versus battle today. And again, we'll be back with another one. Peace out.